Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for listening in. Today is a review of my blog about saying I'm sorry. Growing up with ADD, ADHD, and OCD as I have, going through knowing people with different mental disorders and different issues with whatever's going on in their brains and their bodies sometimes. Um, I found it pretty common that when people are aware of something that's happening or people feel that they affect somebody in a certain way, they overuse the term I'm sorry. And now I'm sorry is a good term. It's a good phrase when you want to resolve a conflict, when you want to apologize for something that you really did wrong. Where it's not gonna really help you out is when it's not necessary or whether it's overdone. If you know you're somebody who constantly apologizes for no reason, um, that's a problem. Why is it a problem? Because you are taking away your power and you're giving it to somebody else. And let me just try to explain that a little clearer. When you say I'm sorry, you're basically admitting right off the bat that something that you did was wrong. Or it doesn't matter if it's something you said, something you thought, something you implied, something you did involuntarily, whatever. It's implying that you did something wrong, that you are at fault and you are to blame. That's the weight of what the phrase I'm sorry carries. Um, and in situations where you know that you're an everyday apologizer or multiple times a day over apologizing for things, it's really important for you to take time in, even if it's time in the mirror, or take time for yourself and just get yourself into the idea that it's not always your fault. It's not always about you. Sometimes things just happen. For example, if you are somebody who's very empathetic and takes on the emotions of somebody else, or you really feel what other people are going through, or you're super sympathetic as well. Um, you can, like, if somebody's coming at you having a bad day and either they're angry or they're upset or they're depressed, and it might not be your fault, but they're taking it out on you, and you respond with an apology, that gives away your power in the situation. And what I mean by your power is your sense of self, your sense of who you are. If somebody comes up to you angrily or whatever and is taking out their mood on you and you say I'm sorry, what you have to really keep in mind is that most of the time, unless it's something utterly directed at you, there may be a little something to that, like, oh, you made me angry when you did this. There might be something to that, but there could also be something going on in the background. For example, uh to go back to the example, somebody comes at you angry or upset and you say I'm sorry. It's not necessarily apologizing for something you did, which is not a good thing, because in the back of your mind somewhere that processes differently. It puts, like I said before, the blame on you for that situation, and that's simply not true. You could say something like, I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, or I feel so bad that you're, feeling like this, and approach it from kind of that direction rather than putting it on you and internalizing that. There's more clearer examples as well. If you're late for a deadline, or if you're trying to catch up, or even if you do something so minuscule that you don't really have to apologize for it, that's not okay to apologize for that kind of thing. Like, if you tried your hardest to meet that deadline, if you didn't know you were standing in somebody's way and they kind of they were like, can you move, or excuse me, or whatever, yeah, like saying, oh, excuse me or whatever is fine, but I'm sorry is not really an appropriate term for that kind of thing. And the only reason is because you didn't really do anything wrong. Like I said before, excuse me, or oh my bad, or whatever, like, not necessarily saying I'm sorry, because you do feel bad about the situation. You feel bad you were standing in somebody's way, but you did not know that you were doing it. And it might get a little convoluted, but I feel that those who this is intended for will understand what I'm saying, especially those people who, like I said 100 times, already apologize 1,000 times a day for anything. You drop your pencil on the floor, I'm sorry. You bump into somebody, I'm sorry. You do this, you forget to hold the door for somebody, I'm sorry. And it seems like it's manners in some sense, but it's really not. It really has a lot more weight and a lot more power to it. So what this episode is really about is, like I was kind of giving tips before about circumventing those things, and coming up with different things to say so that it's not giving away your power. It's I feel bad that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you're upset, or I apologize that I was in your way. It's not just I'm sorry and getting out of this situation. It's kind of, yes, like expressing that sort of I feel bad, but it also puts it back on them, where like, no, this is not coming from me. Like, I was not at fault here, and I know that. I'm not quite sure if I'm making this 100% clear. I can try to find other ways to explain it as well. But the message, I think, is still there, where if you're in a situation where you're truly sorry, and by sorry, I mean take an evaluation of the situation. If you're in a fight with somebody, or you're in an argument with somebody, and you really know that you were wrong, apologize. Of course, apologize. Pride is not anything to take too seriously. It stops a lot of progress, and it halts a lot of good things from happening. And also you have to remember to really consider, like, am I just saying this reactively, or do I really mean it? And the problem with saying it reactively is, like, for example, doing something that affects somebody else, and you apologize for it, and the intent is there, but then in your actions, you're not really sorry, because it's happened again, and it's happened again, and it's happened again. So doing it that way also is kind of detrimental to your well-being, because it's basically, it's affecting those around you by showing that you're not actually sorry. You might feel like you are, but how sorry are you really if you don't change that action, or that wording, or that mentality about something to really express that you're sorry? So, before you just jump the gun and apologize for everything, one, make sure you really are sorry. Two, make sure that you are willing to take blame for that situation to some degree, and only take the blame that is appropriate, that you are actually to blame for, if that makes any sense. I think that's it for this one. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to get in touch with me. I know this was kind of a scatterbrained episode, but it was hard for me to sort of articulate the meaning behind it. I do have a blog written up with some situations and things like that, and talking more about my experience with being overly sorry for things, to the point of depression in some cases, and to the point of really pushing who I was aside and out of the way in order to apologize to somebody else for something I never actually did wrong. There's a lot of situations like that growing up, and that's where this episode comes from, to help you prevent that. If you need help with this, I can help you out. I can, help you get a better sense of yourself. I can help you express who you are more, spiritually, mentally, physically. Get in touch with me, guys. My contact links are in the show notes. I'm about to introduce a new program on my website with a little more defined program stuff, and kind of add it to the stuff that I have there already. But either way, get in touch. Like I said in my Car Thoughts episode from earlier, get in touch with me. I'll come up with something specifically for you. What you see on there is not necessarily what's right for you, and I can talk to you about that and we can figure something out. All right. Until then, have a good day.